Hello viewers, welcome to this episode with PyMath. In today's episode, we'll begin the series with Python variables. Python variables and the syntax that guides how we can use these variables in coding. Now, I would quickly take us through my screen and we'll see all of the things that we'll need to learn here concerning this concept. First, I would like to say that if this is what you are looking up to, you want to build a career in tech, I would ask that you watch this video closely and also share this video to your friends who are interested in coding with Python. I think this will help them a lot. So make this video available by sharing it so that others can also have it and learn from it. So for Python variables, what are Python variables? We need to have a meaning for this. Let's understand what it is. Python variables are containers for storing values. You can liken them to your containers that you have, your everyday containers. For instance, we have containers for a lot of things that we do, where we store wares, we store food, we store other items. Let's say things that you can use to store items in general. Same thing when it comes to Python coding, we have what we call Python variables. These are containers that we use to store values. These values will be in different forms, which we will see later on when we come to data types in Python. So if we want to store data or values, as we can call them, we use what we call variables. They are just containers. You can see where I have it here. I said they are names given to memory locations. So these variables, they are like memory locations. They are just names we give to memory locations so that we can call these memory locations later on and use them for whatever operations that we'll need them for. As we progress in this series, you see how they can be used and the syntax that guide their usage. So they are names given to memory location. And something else you need to know is that a variable is created the moment we assign a value to it. So here we'll also learn about the assignment statements, all right? And then the operation that we use for the assignment. We'll also see that here, all right? So a variable is created the moment we assign a value to it. I think it is also good for us to know about the rules for Python variables. A Python variable name must start with a letter or the underscore character. That's the first rule you need to know. Then the other thing you need to know about a Python variable is that a Python variable name cannot start with a number. These are rules that guide naming, or what we call naming convention. When you want to use these variables, I mean, you have to follow these rules because it's important, because there are people who would want to also study your code. Programmers who also want to see your code. When they look through your code, because this general convention is what applies across, they will quickly understand what you're talking about. So that's why it's important to follow these rules, or what we call the naming convention. So a Python variable name cannot start with a number. Then thirdly, a Python variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores. Now, these alphanumeric characters, we can look at A to Z, 0 to 9, and the underscore. We'll demonstrate this in code later on, but I just want you to first understand this. Variable in Python names are case sensitive. All right. For instance, examples here, you have name are different variables. See, if I use these variables to assign, I assign values to these variables, they will mean different things in different memory locations. So let's also take note of this. Then again, the reserved words, which we call keywords in Python, cannot be used to name the variable in Python. We can't use Python keywords as variable names. We'll see that when we come to examples here. Now, let's demonstrate in code some of the things we just mentioned. The naming convention for variable names. For instance, I could name a variable MSG, okay, and assign to MSG. Let's say I can assign welcome to PyMath, okay. Now, you can see this code I just wrote here. I assigned the string, this string welcome to PyMath to the variable MSG, right? So the variable name I used here is MSG. MSG is just short for message, okay? Now, what you can see here is that there's an assignment operator here, the equality sign. In math, we say equal to, okay? But in Python, it is just an assignment operator, okay? So this assignment operator assigns the string welcome to Python to MSG. So it means that welcome to Python is located in MSG. That is the memory location. And each time, if we progress in this code and we need to use it, you know, we can call it forth and we print it out in the screen. For example, I can print out MSG by calling the print statement. I can use the print statement, which is also a function, okay? I can use the print function, so to speak, to call forth what I have stored in MSG. So if I say print MSG and I run this code, you will see here that it prints out to the screen, welcome to Python, to PyMath. So you can see that there, welcome to PyMath. That is to say, I used the print function to pull out from memory MSG what I have stored there. So when I print MSG, I will have displayed here on the screen, welcome to Python. There are a lot you can do with Python variables. For instance, you can have several variables that you can assign strings or values to, and you can concatenate variables, and so many other things you can do that we'll look at as we progress here. Okay, so now let's say I want to let me reassign this. Let me reassign this string by calling it message1, as you can see here. All right, now I have MSG1, welcome to Python, print MSG1. You can see that it printed to the screen, welcome to PyMath. All right, MSG1, welcome to PyMath. And when you call the print statement MSG1, you can see it printed to the screen, welcome to PyMath. Now, I have another variable here, which I called, let me write this here again, so you can see it. Let's say I have MSG2. This is another variable, okay? Now, in MSG2, I will assign a string to MSG2, which I'll call here you have privilege. Here you have the privilege of learning how to code in Python. How to code in Python. Okay. Now I have assigned this string to the variable MSG2. Now, if I decide to, let me bring forth another one here. If I have another variable MSG, this time I call it MSG3, and I have asked this variable to concatenate. Concatenation means to join two other variables together. Concatenate MSG1 by using the assignment operator addition. It means concatenate it. So I need to have a space between them. So I will use the quotation mark. We use the quotation mark. It's a syntax. Anytime you want to write, you want to define, maybe you are declaring a string, you use the quotation mark, because this is how the Python understands it, so that you can be able to do. Now, in this string here, you can see it's an empty string. I just put an empty string there so that I can have that place. So I will concatenate this with MSG2. All right. So I have MSG2. Now, if I print MSG3, and I run this code, let me put MSG3 here. If I run this code here, you see it printed to the screen. Welcome to PyMath. Here you have the privilege to learn Python programming. You can see that's all you have here. Okay. All right. So these are just a few things that you can learn from your Python variable. I will come back in another episode again to move us further on Python variables. There are a lot of methods that you will learn, as we use all of the various aspects of Python variable. There are a lot you will learn. I'll come again in another episode, to talk more about what you can do with Python variables. I hope to see you in the next episode. Remember